In the heart of Iosha National Park in Namibia, an extraordinary story unfolded that would leave everyone breathless. Myra, a gentle female elephant beloved by park staff, found herself at the center of an unprecedented mystery. What started as a routine observation soon spiraled into a nail-biting journey filled with anticipation and wonder. Myra wasn't just pregnant, her belly had grown to an astonishing size, far beyond anything anyone had ever seen in an elephant. This alarming development sparked waves of concern among the caretakers, who couldn't shake off the feeling that something monumental was brewing. Every movement Myra made seemed to echo through the vast grasslands, carrying with it questions no one could answer yet. Was this pregnancy normal? Or was nature preparing to unveil one of its rarest miracles? The suspense grew thicker with each passing day, gripping the hearts of those watching over her. It was clear this wasn't just another chapter in the life of an elephant. It felt like the universe itself was holding its breath, waiting for what might come next. Little did they know, this was only the beginning of a tale so incredible it would defy imagination. As Myra's mysterious pregnancy unfolded, the staff of Iosha National Park knew they were dealing with something extraordinary. The decision to install a GPS device on Myra wasn't just practical. It was a lifeline in the vast wilderness of Namibia. Every ping from the tracker felt like a heartbeat, a reminder that Myra was out there, carrying what could be a miracle or a mystery waiting to unravel. But tracking her movements wasn't enough. The team couldn't shake off the gnawing worry that something might go terribly wrong. That's when Jonas stepped forward, his years of experience etched into every wrinkle on his face. "We need constant monitoring," he urged, his voice trembling with both urgency and care. The stakes were high, and the team agreed. Myra needed twice daily checkups. Each visit became a ritual of hope and dread, as if they were standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure whether they'd see sunlight or a storm. Jonas meticulously prepared a medical kit, stocking it with everything they might need for an emergency. His hands moved with precision, but his heart raced with questions. Would Myra survive? Could they intervene in time if complications arose? The weight of responsibility pressed down on him, yet it fueled his determination. Every beep of the GPS device sent a jolt through the team. It wasn't just coordinates, it was a cry for vigilance, a call to action. As days passed, the tension grew thicker, wrapping around them like the African heat. Myra's fate hung in the balance, and everyone knew they were racing against time. Little did they know, their efforts were about to lead them into uncharted territory, where miracles and challenges awaited in equal measure. As the weeks went by, Myra's belly grew to proportions that defied logic, leaving everyone in Iosha National Park on edge. It wasn't just big, it was otherworldly, as if nature itself had decided to rewrite its own rules. The GPS tracker showed Myra moving slower each day, her once graceful strides now replaced by labored steps. Jonas and his team couldn't shake off the unease gnawing at them. Something inside Myra was growing, something extraordinary. Whispers of twins began to circulate among the staff, though no one dared say it aloud for fear of jinxing the situation. The idea alone felt like a thunderclap. Twins in African elephants? It was almost mythical, a phenomenon so rare it bordered on impossible. Yet every groan from Myra seemed to confirm their suspicions. Her body bore the weight of not one life, but potentially two. A thought, both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Jonas often found himself staring at the horizon, imagining the unimaginable. What if they were wrong? What if this was more than just an unusual pregnancy? Each observation brought new questions, deepening the mystery. Every morning Jonas approached Myra with bated breath, his heart pounding like a drum. He studied her movements, listened to her soft moans, and watched her ears flick nervously. Was she trying to tell them something? The tension was palpable, hanging over the park like a storm cloud. No one knew how this story would unfold, but one thing was certain. Whatever was happening inside Myra was rewriting history before their very eyes. The morning that changed everything began with an unsettling stillness. Myra, the gentle giant of Iosha National Park, lay motionless under the sprawling shade of an acacia tree. Her massive body, once a symbol of strength and resilience, now seemed fragile as she groaned softly in pain. The air was thick with tension, each breath Myra took echoing like a drumbeat of uncertainty. Jonas, his heart pounding in sync with her labored breathing, knew this was it, the moment they had been preparing for. Approaching cautiously, Jonas whispered soothing words, his voice trembling yet steady. Miraculously, Myra responded, not with aggression, but with trust. She flicked her ears, granting him permission to step closer. It was then that Jonas made the call. He would administer a labor-inducing drug. Every second felt like an eternity as he prepared the injection, his hands steady but his mind racing. This was no ordinary intervention. It was a delicate dance between human ingenuity and nature's unpredictability. As the needle pierced her thick skin, Myra let out a deep, guttural moan that sent shivers down everyone's spines. The contractions began almost immediately, each wave more intense than the last. Myra's body convulsed with effort, her exhaustion palpable. Jonas stayed by her side, placing a reassuring hand on her side while murmuring words of encouragement. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours, and just when hope seemed to waver, a tiny miracle emerged. A baby elephant, slick with birth fluid, took its first shaky breaths. The team erupted in cheers, their voices blending with the rustling grasslands. Tears welled up in Jonas's eyes as he guided the newborn closer to its mother, ensuring their bond began without delay. For a fleeting moment, the world stood still. The calf stirred, its weak movements signaling life, and Myra's heavy breathing softened ever so slightly. But the joy was tinged with unease. Myra remained lying on her side, her face etched with lingering pain. Something wasn't right. The sense of triumph was quickly overshadowed by renewed concern, leaving everyone holding their breath once again. As the first baby elephant nestled close to Myra, a wave of relief washed over Jonas and his team, but it was fleeting. Myra's groans grew louder, her body trembling with pain as if the ordeal wasn't over. Her belly, still swollen and taut, told a story that no one had anticipated. Jonas froze, his mind racing through possibilities. Could there be another calf? The thought sent a jolt of adrenaline coursing through him. He placed his hand gently on Myra's side, feeling spasms that confirmed his suspicion. Something, or someone, was still inside. The air turned electric with tension. Everyone held their breath, unsure whether to celebrate or brace for more challenges. Jonas whispered reassurances to Myra, his voice steady despite the storm brewing within him. "You're doing amazing, Myra," he murmured, willing her strength to match the monumental task ahead. Minutes felt like hours until the contractions intensified again, each wave stronger than the last. Myra let out a deep, guttural cry, her exhaustion evident, but her determination unyielding. Then, after 15 agonizing minutes, the unimaginable happened. A second calf emerged, small but alive, its tiny trunk twitching weakly. The team erupted in awe-filled cheers, tears streaming down their faces. Twins. In all their years working with elephants, none of them had ever witnessed such a miracle. Jonas stood frozen, overwhelmed by the enormity of what they'd just seen. Myra, though visibly drained, seemed to relax slightly, as if releasing the weight of months of mystery. The male elephant nearby trumpeted softly, as if heralding the birth of something extraordinary. For a moment, time seemed to stop. 2 calves, 1 mother, a story so rare it defied belief. As the dust settled, the reality of what had just happened began to sink in. 2 calves, healthy, breathing, and alive, lay beside Myra, their tiny bodies trembling with newfound life. Jonas, his hands still shaking from the adrenaline, gently dried the newborns and ensured they were warm. Each movement was deliberate, each touch a testament to the care that had brought them this far. Myra, though visibly exhausted, seemed to radiate a quiet strength as she extended her trunk toward her babies, pulling them closer in an unmistakable gesture of love. The male elephant, who had stood guard nearby, finally stepped forward. His cautious approach spoke volumes about his role, not just as a protector, but as a partner sharing in this monumental moment. He gently nudged Myra, his trunk wrapping around her as if to say, "You did it." The herd, once hidden behind the thickets, emerged one by one, their massive forms casting long shadows across the grassland. They gathered around the twins, their trunks reaching out in curiosity and affection. It was as if the entire community had come to celebrate the miracle of life. Jonas watched, his heart swelling with emotion. This wasn't just a birth, it was a testament to resilience, teamwork, and the unbreakable bonds of nature. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, the scene felt almost surreal. For the first time in hours, tension gave way to pure joy. Myra's family surrounded her, united in their shared triumph. And Jonas knew, this was more than a rare event. It was a reminder of why he dedicated his life to protecting these majestic creatures.